What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another Sunday night episode here on Darknite Radio. Of course, you have three of the four co-hosts here, Dwayne, Sherika, and of course, Lauren. As always,
hey guys.
Jackie's dealing with the issue. She will be back joining us in a little bit. And as you know, we've also had want to welcome Mr. Rick Hayes. We did have him on a while back. Glad to have you back, my friend.
It's great to be back tonight. And you know, as I shared with you, I was looking at myself in the camera here. It looks like I'm aging a little bit.
Me too.
We all get older, unfortunately. We ain't getting no younger.
Yeah, but here's what I shared, Dwayne. It's what's inside. If you feel young inside, that's all that matters.
Well, yeah.
Sometimes I feel young.
Sometimes I feel like I'm in my younger 20s. Other times I feel like I'm about 50.
Yeah, I found out in the mornings that it's when I'm feeling older because I get up in the morning and I'm slowly getting out of bed now. I'm slowly going down the stairs. I'm slowly getting my coffee.
Yep. Definitely takes longer getting up and around in the morning. But so just a shout out for a few people that's jumped on here. We got Paulette and Judy and Ashley, Trish, Kim. Welcome, guys.
Hi guys, what's up?
So there's Kelly. Hey, Kelly.
Hey, Kelly.
So if you will, Rick, just give us a introduction of yourself and who you are and what got you doing this. If you
Okay. Well, I've been out in the public eye now. I've been in the industry now for, it's going over 20 years now, actually about 21 years now. And so I'm starting to feel like the old man on the mountain. You know, when I started 21 years ago, I didn't know where I was going with this. I knew all my life I was given these abilities as a psychic medium, and I didn't talk about it because I didn't want everybody to think I was weird. So I just grew up and had a really good childhood and a great childhood and growing up, but I just kept it to myself. And a little over 22 years ago, about 23 years ago, I helped a friend, and for the first time, after I shared some messages with her, she said some words that really I feel like put me on my path of purpose. She relayed to me. She said, "You're being selfish," and I looked at her and I said, you know. Okay. And she said, you've got something that could be helping and serving others. And so from that point on, I did a lot of things, you know, pondering. And if I wanted to come out in the public, I didn't know what would happen. I thought they may throw me in a rubber room. I didn't know. And so I chose to take my path of purpose. And I love sharing this with everyone, that this is my path and purpose for the last 20 years. Loving life each and every morning I get up, and it's something new and positive every day. You know, we travel all over the country and speak in different venues, and I've written books, as you know, that have been titled bestsellers. And I always like to say this: if you knew me in high school, I could literally drop the mic right now, because if you knew how I was in English, you'd say, "Wow, Rick wrote a book," you know. But I've done television work. For the past 20 years, I've been on different networks, national networks. But I'm just going to be straight up with you. I've been turning them down here recently. I had a couple in the last 8-10 months that have approached me about being on a television show. Wow. And I've built a reputation for the last 20 years now. And what they wanted me to do on these shows is I didn't fit. I just didn't fit. I want to be me. Mm-hmm. And so
it's hard to do in those things.
So I'm at the level in my life now. I can be choosy. I can choose what I want to be a part of.
Right.
And so, but it's been a tremendous last 20 years. I love sharing this. I do private sessions and as well through the week and besides the travel and things. But the last 20 years is just, I've literally met thousands and thousands and thousands of individuals all over the world that I probably would have never met in my life if it wasn't for me serving and sharing this with others. So, yes, they title me as a psychic medium, but I always say I'm just Rick Hayes. You know, that's who I am. So that's a little bit about me. It's been an incredible path. incredible path.
That's amazing. And I find that to be honorable, I guess.
Yeah.
That most people, you know, they'll sign that contract and get that paycheck, and they don't stick to who they
Yep.
really are. So I give you a lot of props on that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
More
Well, thank you
people
so
need to
much,
be like
Sharika.
that.
Thank you. And really, I share, you know, I do life coaching as well. I've been doing life coaching. I've got my own program called Believe to Be a Better You for the last 6 years. It's been phenomenally successful for individuals. And one of the things I shared is be you. You know, if you try to follow someone else's path, if you try to follow someone's coattails, if you try to be someone else, you're not going to be at your fullest 110%. So you always want to be you. And for the last 20 years, I'm sorry to say that there's been I've watched individuals come into this industry as this quote psychic medium, come in, try to be someone else and try to be like someone else, and they have not succeeded. You got to be yourself.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not going to throw no names out there on that one, but I know a few of them that's made it on TV, and they're full of.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that, Dwayne.
Yeah. So we want to say hi to Mr. Chuck and Ginger, Tom,
Sue, hi Sue.
Sue.
Oh, Chuck says this guy is the real deal.
Oh, thank you, Chuck.
Hi everybody. Thanks for
We
joining.
got a lot of amazing people in here, and you guys feel free if y'all have any questions or anything like that, throw them in that chat. We'll be asking them. It's just amazing. So you said you've known like your whole life pretty much that you had gifts, abilities. Everybody calls it something different.
Yeah, actually, Sharika, I actually share that we're all born. I feel like we're all born with these abilities. We're all born with talents and skills and gifts. And it could be art, it could be music, it could be the the spirituality abilities. But we're all born with abilities, and if you know what they are, apply them in your life, because it will change your life. It'll be more abundant in your life. But I recognized them early in my life. I was able to see, hear, feel, and acknowledge. I do ever since I was a little kid, and nothing that ever changed through my life. I tried to ignore it. And I tried to growing up, and but I just began accepting it, and And now the great thing now is that I'm able to share what I've been given to others, and help them and change their lives. We get daily testimonials from individuals who have had either sessions with me, or been in a gallery with me, or been in an appearance with me, and the testimonials are, so inspiring for me. Individuals ask me, they say, at the end of the day, are you exhausted? I'm physically, literally exhausted, but I'm so inspired spiritually that it's like I get up the next morning and say, what do we got today? So, let's do this. So, but I grew up and just, I was just a normal kid living a great life, and then, but I knew they were there the whole time. And so fortunately for me, for the last 20 plus years, I've been able to share them.
That's amazing. So we do have one question. Ashley said, do you have a website and do virtual readings?
I absolutely do. Virtual's really cool. We started doing that about 2 or 3 years ago, and it's like, wow, I can be at home, they can be at home, and we still see each other. They don't have to come into my office. But yes, the website is Life's Gift. I'm going to spell that for you. It's LIF as in Frank, ES as in Sam.
I cannot.
G as in great, IF as in Frank, T as in Tom, lifesgift.com. Just go there, and we got all the information there, and you can go on there and see my schedule and see what's going on, see what I'm doing. And who's this in the back?
That's our
my daughter.
youngest.
She says hi on every podcast.
Yeah, she's got to say hi to all the guests.
Hi.
That's my well, I want to say my youngest, but one of my middle children, Katie.
And she's your best child, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she actually is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He said that's your best child.
And how old are you?
Oh, hold on. I'm going to give her the headphones.
There, he's talking to you.
Hi.
He said, how old are you? Hi.
And your name again?
Katie.
Hi, Katie. How old are you,
Hi.
Katie?
I'm 12.
What do you think about all this we're talking about?
I don't know what you're talking about.
She just tuned in.
Well, I'm going to share this with you real quick, Katie, that you're 12 years old. You're at a great place in your life right now. What do you want to do when you begin your adult life? What do you want to be?
I want to be in the WNBA.
Pardon me?
I want to be in the WNBA.
Oh, basketball?
Yeah.
You're right up my daddy. I grew up with a basketball in my hand. So I'm going to tell you right now, you can do it. You keep practicing and get better and better each day, and just say to yourself, you can do this. You're going to be say each morning, I'm going to be in the NBA, okay?
Thank you a lot.
And you can make it.
Thank you.
And I want your autograph when you get to be a pro, okay?
Okay.
All right. Great meeting you.
Great meeting you.
Yeah, she likes to tune in and check out what we're doing sometimes, especially on the podcast. So.
Yeah, and you know what? I love it because I actually do some consultations. I call them advisement consultations with those around her age, especially 14 to 19 years old, who's acknowledging some of their abilities that they've been given, and they're scared or they're afraid, and they don't want to look like they're weird like everybody else. So we spend time and we talk about it, and we help evolve it and develop it. And I've seen some great, changes in those young, I call them future generations. I see some great changes in those young adults and how they become more confident in their life, and
well, I may definitely have to reach out to you on that. I've got 2 biological children actually, and I know for me when I was growing up, and I didn't grow up in a bad household at all. Like I had the American childhood dream pretty much, but not being able to explore the abilities that I had, it caused me a lot of issues. I thought I was crazy. I went to counselors. I was on medicines. And then once I opened up to it and started understanding it, like my life got a whole lot better. I don't go to the counselors. I'm not on medication anymore. And I believe that my oldest daughter she does have some pretty rough things going on, but I think some of that kind of plays into it as well for her. She knows that she has abilities. She's opened up and used them a time or two, but then she shuts it down and blocks it off.
She's kind of scared. She's at that stage where, like you said, she seems like she's kind of afraid of it. She's interested in it, but at the same time, they're at that stage where they're like, oh, this is kind of scary. I don't want to mess with it, or I don't want to,
Well, Dwayne, here's what I found from just, partnering with young adults and helping them with their abilities. You said the key word there, they are afraid. They've been raised in a society saying you can't, this is not good, this is not right. And so, and then because of society, I found that the young adults their confidence level is really lower. And so we do things to help raise their confidence in themselves. And then the insecurities that's been developed there. So, I know medicine is good, but I feel like a lot of times the medicine isn't what's helping. It's helping them within themselves. That's the key. So, I'd be more than happy to help you in any way I can.
That would be amazing. So we do have a few more questions here. Ashley said, can you explain the difference between clairaudience and claircognizance? They seem very similar. The last one's harder to say, that's for sure. That's one difference.
Well, first, and who asked this question?
Ashley Hamilton.
Okay. Well, the first thing is, Ashley, is I don't get into those big words in this industry. I just say it like it is. So, clairaudience is I believe, and maybe y'all know this better than I do, that's the sight, right?
Clairaudience, I believe, is when you hear. And then the I can't say that word. Claircognizance is when you just know. I believe. I'm like you. I don't get into a whole lot of the big words. If you ask me, I'm a Hans 57. I just
Well,
whatever.
I believe I can answer that question, but just helping me with the definition. There is not much of a difference between hearing and getting what you're feeling. And so, the first thing that I share is to feel, acknowledge what you're feeling. That's the first step. Acknowledge what you're feeling, and don't second guess it. Don't second guess what you're getting. As soon as you feel something and you feel it and you're getting it up here, don't second guess that. That's what we do a lot. That really restricts us from our own abilities, is second guessing ourselves. And then the next step is when you hear something, and when you hear in the spiritual realm, you don't so much hear it as we are speaking right now, because they're no longer in the physical body, so they're not speaking through the physical voice. But it's a thought. It's a thought, but it sounds like they're actually talking with you. And so, but here's the key here is combine those two together, and what you're going to find, it's going to elevate you. If you combine what you're feeling and what you're hearing, everything's going to be elevated for you, and you're going to have a better understanding of the messages you're getting. Thank you for the question.
Yeah, Chuck. Just
Chuck
real
said
quick.
he hasn't been grounded, but he grounded today, and it was crazy. Chuck, that's awesome. It's not good to not be grounded.
Yeah, and Chuck also, there's definitely been a weird shift of energy lately, especially with all this crazy, excuse my language, all this crazy shit has been, it's definitely been a shift for sure of sorts.
Yeah, in fact, I'll share this with you tonight. For the first time ever, August the 20th, I live in a small community. It's not a small community, but it's a fairly small community. It's where I was raised and grew up. I actually grew up in a little town called Santa Claus, Indiana. So
I've been there, Holiday World. I lived in Evansville for 7 years.
Okay, well,
yeah. And my dad lived in Du Bois County all his life. He actually went to Forest Park.
Oh, a ranger.
Yeah.
Well, I forgot what I was going to say.
You were talking about the weird shift in energy, and you was talking about this
August 20th.
Yeah.
August 20th.
August the 20th, for the first time ever, and I feel like it's the right time because of everything. What I've been observing, what others been responding to me. For the first time ever, I'm going to be doing a workshop. It's called Spiritual Development and Wellness. It's a master class, and I'm actually going to be teaching for the first time ever. I'm going to be teaching the techniques that I use to connect, the techniques I use to get elevated with your abilities. What I do in the mornings when I get up in the mornings. I'm going to give all that in that workshop, and I feel like it's the right time because individuals are what you just said, Dwayne, that individuals, because of everything. One of the first things I share is don't get up in the morning and turn on the television and watch the news, because that will lower your energy, that will lower your abilities that you have. So, we're going to be talking about things. I got 3 great speakers coming in. One's a Reiki master, one's a yoga master. The other one is at like a 3rd degree or 4th degree black belt, and they're going to be part of the workshop as well. So, but I'm excited for the first time ever. I'm going to be sharing how this works for me, and maybe in some way you can apply it and start elevating your own abilities yourself.
Now, is this one going to be like an in-person, or are you going to do it virtual, or?
Well, I'm going to give it out here tonight. We are doing it in person. The tickets are on sale now. You can go to Facebook or you can go to my website. You'll have the information there. But we're also going to be filming it, and so it will be down the road. It will be available on online as well.
That'd be awesome. I'd be interested in checking that out.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I actually, how I heard about you, Rick, because I was at work the last time you were on, the first time you were on, but Lauren and Sherika were both on here that time. Actually, how I heard about you is actually my cousin Rhonda. You had done a reading for her, and she lives in Huntingburg. and you'd done a reading for her, and she was telling me about you, and we should bring you on the show. And so that's when I reached out to you the last time. And I was like, it's been a while. Let's bring it back on. And I was listening in. I just couldn't be actually one of the hosts of the show that night.
Would Rhonda happen to be married with and part of a restaurant?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, she's a sweetheart. She's just a sweetheart. She's a good friend, and not just a client, but she's a good friend.
Yeah.
And I've watched her blossom, and I've watched her grow, and I watched her, find
amazing.
that happiness, and it's just tell her I said hi, okay, Dwayne?
I will for sure.
All right.
Linda, I'm not sure on that one. Linda had a question, and it kind of goes back to it. Oh yeah, Kim had a question. Let me jump to Kim's question first, and then I'll get to
you Linda's.
Linda's. Kim said, "What is the best thing to look for when you're wanting a reading?"
Well, the first thing I suggest is feel like you're being pulled, that something's pulling you, that you need a connection. You need to get messages, or you need some direction. And what I'm saying is, I call them inner pulls. You want to feel inside. You don't want to be, I always share with everyone after one what I call session with me. If that's all you needed, that's all you needed. I'm not one that says come back in 2 weeks. I kind of share three things when it comes to a psychic medium. First is if a psychic medium tells you that that they're 100% accurate, walk away, because we're not. We can still misinterpret. We can still, we're still in a physical body. The second is if one shares with you that you only have so much time to live, or someone only has so much time to live.
That's BS.
Run as fast as you can. Run away
BS.
from them, because we're not to do that. We're not responsible for that. And then the third is when you're looking for a reading, you want to feel comfortable with who you're going to get a reading from. You want to feel that energy. You want to feel comfortable with it. I just had one a few days ago. She lives in California. We did a virtual, and I asked her how she found out about me, and she said, "Well, it was kind of funny." She said, "You were in a book," and it was like in the book. It's top 100 psychic mediums in America, and I was told I was in the top 25, so I was happy about that. But she shared with me. She said, "I saw your picture, and I just felt pulled. I felt like I just felt comfort. I felt." So you want to feel what you're feeling when you're looking for a reading. And then when you go to a reading, don't have any expectations. I'm one that if you come to one of my sessions, I don't begin by asking you what questions you have or who do you want me to channel or visit. I let our loved ones come around us, and I just let them talk with us. And so you want to feel comfortable as well. If something is telling you if something's not right, then by all means pay attention to that. And again, with don't go in with expectations. I've had those that says, "Well, I was expecting so-and-so to be here. I didn't expect my ex-husband to be here."
Right.
And it's kind of like, well, he came to visit. So, but that's what I'm going to recommend.
And for me, like doing the show that we do and having quite a few psychic mediums, one thing that I would throw in there is if they say something and you don't connect with it, don't agree that you connect with it.
Absolutely.
I mean, be honest with them, because
don't
it could
feed
be
them
a different
information
spirit
either.
Absolutely.
that they're connecting to that's not for you. And if you're saying, yeah, that's right, and it's not, you could miss your opportunity for a true reading, or whatever.
Very good. And also to add to that, I would share, sometimes I get things that doesn't make any sense at all to me. I will share, the one I always seem to remember a lot is I was receiving a message about a set of porcelain squirrels. And the lady looked at me and she says, "You're nuts." Sorry about that. I had to say that.
No, you're good.
She said, and I told her, I said, "Well, when they give me something, I just got to say it. I don't know what the direction is. I just got to say it." And I said, "There's a set of porcelain she wants me." I said, "They're like a salt and pepper shaker, but they're a little taller." And I started describing it. And I said, "I even go to this detail. one of the squirrels has a chip underneath the chin. And she looked at me funny, and she was like shaking her head, no, no, no. And all of a sudden it hit her, and she said, "Oh, I have those. Those are my grandmother's. And you're right. There's one that's got a chip. I broke it. It's a chip underneath the chin of it." And I said, "Well, this is just a validation to her that she was here with us, and let you know that." So sometimes when you get things, it may not make any sense at the time, but just make a note of it, record it,
Yes.
and it may come to you later.
Yep. But we've had someone, and I don't know. We'll go into that after the show because I don't want to do that on air. But and then Linda said, "What is it called when you look at, like, you see like a show on TV or something, and there's a fire on it, and you can smell the smoke, or you see a basement, and you can smell a basement smell?" I'm not sure what the name for that one is. Like I said, I don't get into all of the words and categories and.
Yeah. Well, I would probably say that she may have some sensitive abilities, where she's feeling so connected. She may have some where she's able to feel like she's actually there, and maybe she's feeling what happened there at the time. I would work on those abilities. You can read up on it, but also allow your sensitive abilities to feel. When I do telesessions, which is on telephone, or virtual, where we're just looking at each other like we are doing tonight. There's times I'll start describing where they're at, or where the house. I'll start saying, "I'm going upstairs, I'm going to the left," and they'll look at me and they'll say, "How do you know this?" And I always like to kind of be funny, but I always say, "Well, I put webcams in your house before we got on the phone." But no, actually, what's going on there is,
I believe you actually did that with Lauren the last time that you was on, and you was doing a read on Lauren, and you was talking about a family member of hers, and kind of the way that her house was set up, and it kind of blew her mind too. I remember that.
Crazy. That was pretty cool, yeah.
Did you remove the webcams after we got off the air?
Yeah, I had to look through my house, make sure,
Well, and again, the reason they do that is to let you know they're there with you and not here with me. So
it was pretty cool. Yeah, I let my mom listen to it, and she was pretty excited about it.
So I would recommend to Linda, if she's getting this, where she actually smells the smoke and actually feel like the heat of the fire or something like that, really pay attention to that and really work on those abilities, where she's getting. I was in a few weeks ago. I was in Virginia, and we was in a Civil War battlefield. And every time I go to Gettysburg, or every time I go to some of those places, I can feel the cannons, being fired. I can feel the heat. I can feel what they went through, and it's incredible to go to places like that. But pay attention, Linda, and work on that.
Yeah. I know for me, like, I have trouble watching TV, especially movies. I have such a hard time watching movies because I feel the emotions. I know it's scripted. I know it's a movie. I know it's not real. But my feelings line up with whatever is going on in that movie. Like, I can't watch scary movies. I can't watch...
I tried to get her to watch the
watch
Hunger
is a funny
Games
movie.
with me. She couldn't do it.
I made it about 15 minutes into the Hunger Games, and I was in tears and bawling. Like, I know it's not real, but...
Have you ever thought that you may have some empathic abilities, being an empath?
Oh, yeah.
Because, when you're an empath, you're absorbing the energy, you're absorbing the feelings. And you want to work with that where it doesn't absorb you. I always share it, being an empath is like a sponge. You're bringing in everything you're getting, but as soon as you get it, as soon as you share it, you want to squeeze out that sponge and let it go, because if you don't, it'll start draining you.
Oh, yeah. I've made that mistake a lot of not letting it out, and it can be rough, so...
And Robert, I've been seeing your comments too, not ignoring you, brother. He said you feel the percussive wave of energy from the cannons firing. I get that at times when I jaunt around places in astral.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I mentioned I was in Virginia, and where I was speaking was right smack in the middle of the battlefield, Civil War battlefield, and we was in a center. But just quickly tell you a quick story about that. The event coordinator asked me. They had done a paranormal investigation that evening in the battlefield. I wasn't able to be a part of it, but the next day she came to me and she said, "Rick," and she said, "if you have a moment, can you go out in the battlefield with me? Because there's some crazy things that was going on last night." And she said, "I want to see if you can help me with this." She said, "I was being followed by a soldier." And she said, "And so can you go out there and share with me?" So we went out there. The first one I acknowledged was there was a Union soldier squatted down next to the tree. And she said, "Well, this was Confederate." Well, then I looked over, a little bit later, I looked over and there was a bench where you could sit. And standing next to the bench was a Confederate soldier. And I started saying, "Oh, wow." I said, "He's over here. He's going like this. Come on, I'll talk to you." I started describing how he had like a Fu Manchu mustache. And she said, "That's him. That's him. That's him." Well, come to find out, the reason he was following her last night, and they always have reasons. You know, people think they're trying to scare us, but they're really not. They're trying to help us. And so this individual shared with me, he said, the reason he was following you last night, because he's telling me that you are strikingly like his sister, who, while he was here in the battle and fighting this battle, she was home, she was transiting, she was passing away with an illness, and he was very close to her, and he wasn't able to be there for her.
Aww.
And it really brought a lot of distraught to her. So then after we understood that, then she understood and she felt a lot better about it. And before we walked away, I heard cannon fire, and I said, "I'm hearing cannon fire right now." And she said, "Well, those bunkers over there is where the cannons were at one time." And so we started walking away, and I shared with her, I said, "He's telling me that he's going to show you what he felt before you leave here. He's going to show you what he felt, what he felt while he was here in battle, and knowing that he can't be with his sister. And he's going to show you what all he had to go through." Well, I came home a couple days later. She sent me an email. She said, "I want to let you know this." She said, "After you left, she had a tent outside, a vendor tent outside. There was 2 tents on either side of her vendors. And she said, all of a sudden we saw coming out of the battlefield, there was this dust tornado." She said it was like 12 feet tall.
Oh,
And
wow.
she said it started coming toward us. And she said that thing knocked over my tent, knocked everything over all out of my tent. And she said the tents on either side of her was not touched. And I just shared with her, I said, "Well, there you go." He was letting you know what he felt when he was going through, and you always had to be on your toes, and you had to be you never knew what was coming through the field. And so yeah, that was pretty crazy when she,
That is pretty crazy.
But again, when you all are investigators, so you know when you get something, you're getting it for a reason. You're getting it to get messages. You're getting it to get validations. I always share when I go into locations, and I love. I've been saying this for years. I love working with paranormal investigators because they give us the tangible. That I just give you what I give through here. You give the tangible with equipment and everything, which is absolutely amazing. But I always share that when you go into a place, you're going there. They're like our tour guides. You know, they're there to help us to understand.
Yep.
All
That
right,
is so
so the funny question here, where did it go? Does the heat that the UK is having affect the spirits too? It's 27 degrees Celsius at 2 a.m. here.
And what was the question again?
Does the heat affect spirits too?
No.
No.
But
I
again,
don't care.
they're in a different part of life, so they're in a different environment. They're aware that we're hot. They're aware that we're cold. They've experienced it when they were here in the physical body, so they know what it's like to be hot or cold. So they understand that, but no, it doesn't affect them at all. And that's the other thing. I've individuals ask me, and I just do what I do. I just share what I get. This is me. I'm straight up. I don't, I don't say some of the things others do, but when you go into an area, especially investigator, and there's a change in the temperature, a lot of times there's thoughts that they are actually draining your energy. They don't need your energy. They got their own energy. All they're doing is saying, we know you're in the physical body. We know you've got to, for you to know we're here, we've got to do something so that you will know. So we'll either make it colder in here, make it hotter in here. They're not draining your energy. I share with everyone, nobody goes in this body.
Right.
I don't do that. I don't do the Whoopi Goldberg thing. Okay. So, but yeah, so to answer that question, no, it doesn't affect them at all.
Okay. And
go ahead.
and Ginger asks, I keep feeling someone touching me on my shoulder or the back of my neck. How do I find out who it is or what they want?
Ask. Literally
it,
just ask. I mean, that's all you got to do. I mean, if you're getting that, someone's trying to get your attention. So all you got to do is, and you can say it if you're in the, if you're in the comfort of your own home alone, you don't want to do it out in public because people look at you weird,
Like, who's touching me on my shoulder?
Yeah, but I mean, ask, and what you want to do once you ask is immediately what you get within, your thought, whatever that is, pay attention to that. And if it continues and if it becomes a hassle, one of the things we need to understand is those in spirit don't have the control of us. We have the control. So if you own your home, you're the owner of that home. So if you're having things going in your home, just tell them, this is my home. I own it. Respect me. You may have lived here before, but just respect me. And if you can't do that, leave. And they will, and they'll leave.
Yep, and I was talking to my daughter about that, Katie, the one that was actually in here. We were actually talking about that earlier, and I was telling her, just ask, and go with what you feel. Go with like that gut feeling that people talk about, because, I mean, if you ask, you're going to get answers. So.
Yeah, who was the one that just asked that question?
Ginger,
yeah.
Is there someone in her family that has passed, like with a brain tumor or a head trauma, something to do with? I almost feel like it's a tumor or cancer or something in the head.
Okay. Our chat's a little bit delayed, so it may take her just a second to answer that. But.
Yeah, and also touching base while we wait on a response from her. Linda's all, because you told her to tune into it more. She said, "I'm good." She said, "I went to Little Bighorn, and all of a sudden I was there. I don't ever want to do that again."
and that's what's great. That's what's great. You have the choice. That's the other thing a lot of individuals forget. We have choices. We make our own choices in life. How you're going to live life, what you believe, what you don't believe. And so if she chooses not to go farther with this, by all means, you can block it. You can ignore it.
And Ginger said, yes, her uncle.
Okay, I'm just saying, I'm getting a connection with someone as we was getting her a question, and I was supposed to bring up that this is all this is clear, all this is so, and I feel, and she said, "Uncle," I'm also supposed to acknowledge her dad as well. So I think her dad's still here.
And let's see what else she said after that. Chuck wants to know, what is your form of spirituality or religious practice?
Okay, great. I love talking about this. I grew up in a very church-oriented atmosphere, going to church a lot because there were several reasons. The first was my parents wanted to teach us that there's more than just life here. There's a place called heaven, and we have a creator that created us for a purpose in life. And the second is that, my grandfather was a very highly respected minister and an evangelist. And I was 7 months old when he passed, but he's incredible. And I'm very proud of him for what he did in his life. And then with these abilities as well, I struggled. I'll share that with you. I struggled with because of what I was given and what I was raised to understand. And so about in my early 20s, especially in college, I did a lot of studying of not just the religious path that I was raised in, but also studied Buddhism, Catholic, Mormonism. I studied the different, and the reason I did that is because I wanted to make sure I was right with what I was given, because I didn't want to, I didn't want to go against my Creator in any way. I thought I want to be on His good side, be on the good side, So yeah, I had a religious upbringing that helped me to develop. But here's what I say when it comes down to this. Right here's where it all is. Right here, within yourself. We have a lot of different views of religion. We have a lot of, and there's a reason, so we can learn from each other. But it all comes right down to here, because once you complete this path, leave the physical body, you're going back to what I call the original body, and that is the original spirit and soul. So I respect all religions. I respect their views and their thoughts. But again, for the person that asked this question, you want to follow what you feel inside.
So that's a lot of how I was brought up in a Christian home, and I've kind of done the same thing that you did, and it's not going against what I was raised, but just for curiosity and understanding, looked into other religions and how they believe and why they believe, and it's pretty interesting though.
Yeah, and people ask me, they say, how do you deal with skeptics? How do you, well, there's a difference between a skeptic and a cynic. A cynic is someone who's bashing me, who's personally bashing me, as a person, and I can't help them. That's their thoughts and their opinion. They're not going to affect me in any way. And then there's a skeptic, and I feel like we're all a little bit skeptical, and that's great to be that way, because if we all thought the same thing, had the same thoughts, same ideas, we would never learn. And
right.
So, and in one of my books, I've actually shared a skeptic is being skeptical is simply meaning you're still learning to understand. So it's all good.
Yep.
And Ginger also said that, nope, he died too, talking
Her
about
father
her
had
father.
passed.
Her father is deceased.
Okay, so the dad, I don't know why the uncle came through as she was talking, but I had to acknowledge her dad as well with this. So I don't know if they were brothers. I don't know what this is all about, but I had to bring that up. She's a good mom too.
Chuck says, at this point in my life, I don't have to prove anything.
Yep. And see, even as a investigator, and like I say, I say I'm Heinz 57 because I've opened up to a little bit of a few different abilities. Can't say like I've mastered any of them, or there's one that I'm more stronger at than the other. I'm still figuring all of that out. Where was I going with that? My daughter walked to the edge of the desk, and I just completely lost where I was going with that. Like,
I've been there, done that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, even being the investigator and with those, I'm still skeptical about certain things. Like, am I skeptical that there is spirits and that there's an afterlife? Not at all. But what people put out as evidence, quote unquote, that they've captured or that they've seen, or things like that, I get skeptical of. So,
yeah.
And even some of the equipment that we use, just different things. Like, I'll never believe everything 100% because then I'd just be a fool and fall for anything. So.
Yeah, and again, it's okay. If what we're talking about tonight, you have a different view, it's perfectly okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, and
they were brothers, but the dad hurt me as a young teen.
that's what Ginger said.
That's what Ginger said.
The dad hurt her?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
the uncle and the
physically hurt
dad
her, I
were
guess.
brothers, but her father had hurt her as a young teen.
Well, I guess when I was getting someone with the brain, they went to the brain. They wanted, and if it was an uncle and not her dad, then this is sharing that the uncle was there for her tonight, and I did feel a connection with Dad too. So not in the sense that he's here with us, but I had to bring up Dad. So if this was an experience she had in her life with her dad, I'm going to share this with you, Ginger. I want to share this with you right now. Please understand that when we're here in this life in the physical body, we make our own choices, we make our own actions, we choose how we're going to live our life. But once we go into the original body, which is pure, and we go back into the body of spirit, we're no longer in the way that we are here. We get an understanding of the clarity. We get clarity of how life is very valuable. We get clarity of how some of the things that we did in our life here may have affected not just us, but those around us. So just know that your dad has learned in the next part of life, and just forgive.
Yeah.
Uncle's very strong. Her uncle's very strong around her. And you said that he wasn't connected to her dad. It's the mom's side.
No, she said the dad and the uncle were brothers.
Yeah, they were. Okay.
Yeah, that's his brother. Yeah.
Okay. And again, the uncle's coming through for her tonight. So this is letting her know she's protected. She's been. There's someone around her that loves her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and also Chuck said in response to the spirituality explanation you gave and such, he says questioning is the best
I don't know if
practice.
that was spirituality or us being skeptic and questioning.
But he said questioning is the best practice.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Ginger said they were very close.
I still question every morning. I mean, it's funny. After over 20 years and thousands of sessions I've had into it, before I begin my day and I got my schedule, it's kind of like, well, what if nobody shows up? What if nobody in spirit shows up? What am I going to do? I still question that every day, but I've never had not a time where nobody showed up. So they know what we're doing.
Sure.
Yeah. And
So,
go ahead.
I was just going to jump to that other question.
Oh, I just got a question. I just want to see what you get. How many spirits do I have around me?
Well, it changes, okay? And it has a lot to do with what's going on in your life right now. I do share the majority of the time it's our family connections because they're the ones who care about you and love you and want to help you in your life. But with what you do, you might go to places and it happens where they may say, I like this guy. I think I'll go visit with him again, Yeah. He might be at home when they visit you. So I want to share this with you. I got two very, very strong ones that are around you a lot. There's two. There's a male and a female. I don't know if these are grandparents. I don't know if they're a couple. It's a male and a female coming through, and they're around you a lot.
They're very strong, aren't they?
Yes. Yeah,
well,
and I just got this, Dwayne. I'm sorry, but I just share what I get. They're telling me to tell you don't be so stubborn.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's funny.
I'm going to ask Kim's question before it scoots up on the screen and I can't see it. And then she said, how would I first start to connect with spirit?
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's a good one.
Yeah. The first, I'm going back to what I talked about. The first is just allow whatever you're getting, allow it to be, and don't second guess it. We do that a lot. We get a thought like, here's an example. If you're getting in your car and you're backing out, and you're thinking, okay, before I leave, I feel like I need to check my tire, and then most of the time say, I'm in a rush this morning. I'm just thinking that. And then you go down the road and guess what happens? Your tire goes flat.
I've had that happen.
You want to pay attention to what you're getting. And that's the first step. And then allow yourself to feel what you're getting. If it's a person, you're connecting with the person. Again, what are you getting? What are you receiving? What are you hearing? If you had the ability to see them, like me, then they will help you. Again, they're helping you because they want you to know that they're there to help you. So you might see them, and when you see them, don't be afraid. They're helping you with their presence. If you hear something, pay attention to that. And just allow yourself. And we go back to what we talked about earlier. Don't try to be John Edward. Don't try to be Teresa Caputo. Just be you and allow yourself. And then, you know, there's other things that I share, and I'll be sharing it in the workshop, but that I do as well to really get myself into an elevation level so I can really get into that same level as those that's coming forward. And so there's a few things. It's not mystical or anything. It's very simple. And I'm not a rocket scientist. Everything I do is a rocket science. Okay, so
Right.
But yeah, that's what I recommend.
And I know, okay, for me and my experience, you know, it's kind of funny because the first read I ever did was actually on Dwayne. And I don't know, it was just like it was coming to me, and I was telling him about a scar he had on his foot. And at the time, I'm like, I've never seen this man's feet. I wouldn't have known about a scar on his foot. And I'm like, giving him a read, but at the same time, I'm like, I'm crazy. Do I need to go check myself into a mental hospital? And he's like, no, you're fine. Just keep telling me what you're getting. And I'm like, I'm crazy. Like, there ain't no way I can know this stuff. Like, I was seriously about to go check myself into a mental hospital because it was just blowing my mind. And I'm like, and even still at times, like, we'll be on an investigation.
Sure, doubts herself often.
I do. I doubt myself a lot. But I'll get something, and I'll be like, no, I'm just crazy. I'm just crazy.
And
then
that's
research it and find it, you know, in documented proof of what I was getting, and I'm like, okay. So I still
and you said a key word there right now. You doubt yourself, you know. And again, that's one of the things that I teach is even with your abilities, you've got to raise your level of confidence, and I call it humble confidence. You don't want to get egotistical with it. You don't want to get a confidence where you think you're above everybody else. You want a humble confidence, but you have to raise your level of confidence and believe in what you're getting and believe in yourself. No matter what the environment is going on around you, you got to believe what you feel within yourself. And then if you have any insecurities, then you want to start working to diminish those as well. When I first started, I was scared. I was afraid. I thought, what if I'm not really going to be helping? What if I'm actually going to be hurting? And I really struggled with that for a couple of years. But at the time when I was getting responses of the validations I was getting and how much I've helped others, then it raised my confidence level. And, you know, I call it a humble confidence. You want to keep that humble confidence. You don't want to get, again, after 20 years and being all the accolades that I've received in the last 20 years in this industry, I still keep myself at this level. I don't feel like I'm above everyone else like this. I'm right here, just with everyone else. And that's what you want to do. You want to be confident.
Okay. I'll definitely work on that. Chuck said he would love to know if he should be concerned with his current activity.
Oh, he's wanting a reading. I'm sitting there thinking, okay. I got the word twist. So I feel like when I got the word twist, so there's something a little bit here that he might feel like it's either trapping him or holding him. I don't want to go into the activity, but I also feel like that he needs to redirect some things in the next 42 days. I'm getting 42 days, so that would be we're looking 42 days from actually since 1st of July. So there's something. He's either holding himself back or he's something feels like feels kind of trapped, but he needs to work on that for the next 42 days. And I feel like once he does, he'll get an answer for himself. He'll know. He'll either change it or he'll either go forward.
Okay. And then Ginger, the one with the uncle and dad that you've read, said, do you think they are coming to her because she's trying to reconnect with her half brothers?
I do. Yes. And she got that. See what happened there? She said, is it because, well, actually what happened was her uncle was saying, hey, this is why I'm here. And she was picking up on that.
Okay.
All right. And Sandy wanted to know if she has any spirits around her currently.
Well, you know, for years I used to carry a poster around that said, "Yes, they're around you," because everybody was coming up to me when I was out in public and everyone else, and they kept saying, "Is there anyone around me? Is there anyone around me?" Yes, they're around you. They're always around you. So, but this is Sandy.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm getting a blonde. I'm getting blonde hair, so there is someone connected with her that is either Sandy's a blonde or there's a blonde connection, and I feel like that. Oh, I also feel like this individual would be. I'm getting something medical as well. So either she was in the medical field or she was in a hospital before she passed.
Okay.
And I need to ask her this, and I don't want to embarrass her, but they also hear her when she's singing. I think she's kind of one of those in the house singing to herself. But they're laughing. And this individual, I don't know if it's family or friend, but it definitely, she's telling me she had blonde hair. And I know that's pretty general. Sometimes I get really general things, and I always share. I just give you what I get. So, but
Right.
But there's something medical here as well.
Okay.
Chuck says counted, football related.
Repeat the question.
Chuck says counted, football related.
On his
Okay.
activity.
On his.
So,
Okay. 42 days. Remember I said that.
Lauren's being awful quiet. What's she got going on around her?
Oh, boy. Oh,
Lauren
boy.
hates it when we throw her under the bus, but
Lauren, what's your question?
I don't know.
Throw a question out there.
I don't know.
Are you considering taking a class or considering to study something?
Not really. I mean, I'll tell what's going on in my brain though.
Do you what's your education?
What do you mean, like
High school, college?
high school?
Okay. Now this is a class. There's something that's going to interest you coming up, and it's going to be a class. You can do it online, I guess, because I just saw the computer. But it's going to be, and I don't know what the field is. I don't know what areas it is, but it's you need to consider it.
Okay.
Okay. And it's like a 12-week class or something like that, but you need to consider it. Are you working outside the home now?
What?
Do you work outside the home now?
What do you mean, like?
Like a
yeah,
job?
she does. She
Yeah,
works,
kinda,
but
yeah.
it's kind of at her house.
So you work from home?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can I ask you what you do?
I'm a caregiver.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. Are you happy there? Are you
Yeah.
happy where you're at?
Yeah.
Okay. You're going to advance a little bit, and you're going to be advancing by with this class, whatever this class is.
Oh,
Okay.
really?
I
Oh,
do
okay.
feel like it has to do with something with, are you certified? Do you have any certification or anything like that?
No, not yet. No.
Not yet?
Nope. No. I'd
That's
like to see a little
crazy.
bit more.
Oh, look.
Look, Sherika has to. That goes.
I
Okay.
can't see it.
Sherika literally wrote CNA on the paper before you ever answered that.
Yeah. Yep. You're going to be you need to consider taking that class. I'm not going to tell you what to do, okay?
Okay.
But I do feel like you need to consider, because I feel like it'll promote you or elevate you a little bit.
Right. I do
Okay.
want to do a little bit more, so.
You can do it.
And
In fact, I'm expecting you to Facebook me and tell me you got certified.
Okay. I'll let you know for sure.
Sandy said, mother passed in the hospital and sister worked in the medical field.
Okay. Who's the blonde? Is her mom mom blonde then? I'm supposed to bring up blonde hair for her. I think that was her.
Yeah, that was her. That.
Okay.
How about Jackie? She looks like she's under distress over there.
Is that Jackie down the corner?
Yeah.
Hi, Jackie. I saw you over here. I didn't know if I was supposed to say anything to you or not. I thought maybe
She's our
you was
other
the
co-host, but sometimes she
I
has
thought you was
internet
the
issues.
I thought you were the producer or something. I thought, I did see you on the screen, and hi, Jackie.
Hi.
And I know this is pretty general, but I need to ask you: were you around someone, or did you help someone that was dealing with cancer?
Yes.
Okay. Did it spread quickly as well?
Well, my sister was just diagnosed.
Okay. She just now is diagnosed?
Yeah.
Have they, and I always share this. I want to put this disclaimer in real quick, okay? You listen to the experts in their respective field. We're talking medical here, so whatever I share with you, you still listen to the doctors, the nurses, the medical experts, okay? If we're talking legal or law, I would share, listen to the law enforcement, so what I'm sharing this with you is that what I'm getting is is it early enough?
Yeah.
Okay. I really want you to help her and stay focused on this and help her to contain it. I feel like it can be contained, but I feel like if she ignores it, and I know that's pretty general, but I feel like she ignores it, it could spread quickly. So is it in the lower part of the body?
No, it's breast cancer.
Okay, I need to stay focused on that because I feel like it could go down. And so I'm glad to hear she got it early enough. I feel like she can get through this. And we're going to put the energy out there that she's going to be healed. And, and she's going to be okay. But it's important that, are you close to her?
Yes.
Okay. Really give her inspiration and really help her, really keep her stay with the doctor's appointments because it's very important. You all got it at the right time. You all can get rid of this. But I feel like she should not ignore it. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you for sharing that with me too, Jackie. And I always share with everyone that, it's amazing what your mindset, your emotion set, he takes care of your physical set. So if she stays positive in her mindset, in her emotional set, it heals the physical body. So she wants to stay positive, okay?
Okay.
You said it was breast cancer?
Yeah.
Okay. Make sure she's okay in like the digestive system as well, okay?
Okay.
All right. So she'll be fine.
Okay.
And Sandy says both of them are blondes.
Oh, well.
Uh-oh. Double trouble.
The blondes won tonight.
I've got kind of a double-sided question, if you don't mind me asking.
Excuse me, man. I got something else I need to share real quick.
Yes,
Which one of you three has a mid-sized dog in the house right now?
Me.
I think
Yeah.
Well, actually, all three of us.
so.
I'm just getting one dog, so there's someone with one pet dog in the house.
Oh, that ain't me then.
I have
I got 4.
multiple dogs, but I've only got one mid-sized dog. And he's actually not mine. He's my sister's that I'm taking care of.
Jackie, I keep looking down at you. Do you have a dog?
Yes.
Is it just one dog in your house? Do you have more than one?
One.
Just the one? Okay. Did you have a pet before this one that passed as well?
Yeah, recently.
Okay. I need to share this with you that the dog you have now, they're kind of fighting over the dog bowl.
Okay.
Okay. And again, people ask me, do pets get a trans in? Well, if we will go into the biblical scripture, it says the animals and the fowl was created before we was, so they're important in our life. And so, and if you have a pet that you love and care for, and they're dedicated to you, why would that be taken away from you? So, but I'm getting a spirit. I'm getting an energy of a dog that is almost like fights the dog you're with when it comes to the dog bowl. So, if just when I get something like this, I don't speak dog, so I can't tell you what it's saying. but I can share with you that if you watch your dog that you have there now, watch how it goes around the bowl and kind of how it acts around the bowl. Our pets just accept what's there. They haven't been. I always share with young children and pets animals, they just accept what's there. They haven't been told it's coincidence. They haven't been told it's imagination. So they just accept what's there. So pay attention to your pets because they can tell you when someone's around.
Yep.
And pay attention to your pet. That are they different breeds? Are they different types of dogs?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, is the one you have now, was it larger than the one that passed?
About same size.
Okay. Well, I'm going to tell you the one that passed is the one that's in charge. Okay.
Okay.
I mean,
I can see that.
was she a female? Was she a female? Is there a
Yes.
Okay, because I feel like she's the boss. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. I'm sorry. When I get something, I got.
No, you're
No,
fine.
you're
You're
I
fine.
understand. You're perfectly fine.
It's okay with us.
I kind of had a two-question one because I'm trying to decide which one I want to ask more, but so I'm going through some issues with my children's biological dad. Do you have any insight on which way that might go?
Yeah, get an attorney. No, I'm kidding.
She needs one.
That's actually one of the
That's good
possibilities
advice right there
I'm
because she
looking
needs one.
Well, that's me talking. Okay, that's not what I'm getting.
Yeah.
It's me talking.
Yeah.
You know, like I said earlier, you go to the experts when you need expert advice. Okay. Why is this confrontation happening? Why is this all going now? I mean, I feel like it raised up here recently. So
It really has. Some of his life choices that he has made has got him in some legal issues.
yeah, you need, and I'm going to just suggest this, that you need to get some advice from an attorney. I feel like if nothing else, it will be just in case. Okay. So, and I got something about February. So was there something happened in February?
That was my second part of my question, yeah.
Oh, well, okay. There's your answer. Just kind of reflect about something in February and just reflect on that. I feel like that could help you as well. It's almost like a lesson or something you learned.
It's when my dad passed away.
Okay. Then you know how valuable a person is in your life. And you know how valuable your kids are in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so but it was I'm getting this. I'm laughing about it because he said it wasn't Groundhog's Day. Okay.
That sounds like
Definitely something.
definitely sounds like my dad.
And he was telling me that he's breathing hard. He's breathing again. So he's telling me something about the shortness of breath. So he's telling me it's like I'm going to go like this with you. It's like, okay, like I got it. So your mom's still here.
Mm-hmm.
He's helping her too.
Yeah. She's doing better. She's got COPD and she's doing better now than she has in probably about the last 4 years.
Okay. When people ask me, how's this work for me since we're not in person? Well, your energy, I can see you and your energy is connected with me and they're there with you. They're not here with me. So they start sharing with me. Now, those that are typing these things in, I get the name. Well, again, your loved ones are there with you when you're typing in your question, you're typing them in. So they're with you. So if I get something, it's because they're there with you and they're talking to me like we're talking right now. People ask me this question. They say, Rick, are you ever alone? You know, do you ever get some alone time? Yeah, I do. You know, they keep in mind they respect me. They respect I got to learn life and live life. So they respect me, but they're around us all the time.
Yeah.
And that's great. And people, I'm going to bring this up as well because people ask me, well, if they're here, why aren't they in heaven? Well, you know, the biblical scripture talks about what we're talking about now as another advancement in our life. And so the Bible described it as going to heaven. And so they are in heaven, but they're here with us. I always give this example. If we were in our living room together and myself and Lauren and Jackie went to the dining room and you two stayed in the living room, we'd be in the same house, but we'd be in different rooms. And it's the same thing. They're in a different part of life than we are right now, but we're still in the same life. We're still together. They're in heaven.
Yep.
Even those that you wonder why.
Right.
Right.
Like,
But
how did you get in there?
that's between the Lord and them, not us and them. So, but yeah, I appreciate that a lot because that was actually going to be my next thing, and then as he was around.
Were you with him when he passed?
I wasn't with him. He was in the hospital.
He's telling me you was with him before he passed. I mean, you weren't there when he actually passed, but he's telling me you was with him before he passed.
I was the last one that got to talk to him on the phone right before he passed.
You gotta hold on to that. He wants you to think of that. Okay, not think about you weren't there for him. You need to think about you were there for him before he passed.
So that gives me a lot of peace because I felt a lot of guilt.
Right now.
I felt a lot of guilt that I was the last one that got to talk to him instead of my mom. But
did he carry a comb?
Mm-hmm.
Like a plastic comb?
Yep, one of those little black ones.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness.
he's telling me to tell you he needs his comb again.
That's funny.
Yep, but he always had to make sure his hair was combed.
Okay. He's around you.
Thank you so
and
much.
let me
for
say
that.
this: what we talked about at the beginning, he's helping you with that.
Yeah.
He loves you, and he loves your kids.
Okay, I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Patricia said, "Can you tell if someone's abilities are going to increase or what to concentrate on?"
If they can increase.
Mm-hmm. If they're going to increase or what she needs to concentrate on.
Yes, absolutely. They definitely will increase. Mine continues to grow and evolve because that's what we are to do. Life is learning. So with even all the years, I'm still learning. I'm still evolving. I'm still going to another level. So you can choose if you want to raise, to elevate your abilities. And you can choose not to, but you definitely will always elevate yourself with your abilities. Never stop learning. And what was the second part of the question?
What to concentrate on? What
Okay.
ability to...
Well, this is what I'm going to teach next month, but you want to find your core ability. If we're talking spiritual abilities, you want to find your core ability. What is it that seems to... I'll give you an example. When I was young, I had the ability to see, and I wasn't hearing. And then as I grew older, I began evolving into where I began then hearing. And it's like going to school. It's like you can't go from first grade to fifth grade. You got to go first, second, third, and the same thing with your abilities. She may find her core ability is that she's got the ability to, as we talked earlier about feeling, about being an empath. And she wants to take that. She wants to work on that, focus on that. And then allow, if there's any other abilities she's going to have, they'll start falling into place for her. So just keep learning.
Okay. And then Kim asked, can you see if she will ever get rid of social services?
What's her first name?
Kim.
Is it Kimberly?
It says Kim, but it may be Kimberly. We'll see what she says too.
Because when you said that, it's like, no, it's Kimberly. And I'm going to say this in a positive way because you all know me and I teach this. You get up in the morning, you speak, act, and think positive because when you do, you receive positive throughout your day. And so any messages I give, I'm not one of those, we talked about this earlier, I'm not one of those give negative messages. What I do, if I get something that way, I put it in a direction where it'll be a positive for you. And I do feel like she's got it's almost like stepping stones. There's some more steps she needs to do yet. I feel like she can do those. I don't know why she's kind of hesitating right now. Why? I don't know if it's because she's afraid, but I feel like there's a little hesitation there. I also feel like she needs to talk to someone else other than who she's talking with right now when it comes to when we're talking about social services.
And she said, yes, it is Kimberly.
Okay. Okay. I got that actually from the female energy. So there's a female energy around her that it's either grandmother or something like that, because it's like, no, it's Kimberly. Like, okay. So, but yeah, she's got a few steps, but she'll be okay. She can get through this.
All right. Now everybody's bombarding you with questions. Is there anything that you're getting that you feel you need to put out, or do you have any questions?
You talking to me?
Yeah.
Do I have any questions for you all?
Yeah. Do you have just any questions, or do you feel like,
There's
something
messages that you need to deliver, or
Well, I want to ask you a question as investigators. What do you think is the main key when you investigate?
like what's our main purpose in investigating?
That what if someone was just starting this industry, because I'm sorry to say this, because of the popularity, I mean, even Keisha's getting into this now, and
Yeah.
so I mean, we have a lot of those that thinks if you put on a black T-shirt and run around with a recorder, you're a paranormal investigator. We know that it takes more than that, and so if I was wanting to be a brand new paranormal investigator, what would be the first step you would tell me to do?
Well, that's a good one, because there's so many different types of investigating. Like you said, there's so many people that's throwing that shirt on and just going out there, not understanding the full realm of it. Mine would just be getting a understanding and know your purpose of what you're doing, or what your goal in doing it would be before you go in.
Okay. And the second part of this is with
That
your
would be
ability, with your abilities, do you recommend applying your abilities along with the investigation of the equipment? Do you
In my personal experience, I do recommend it, but I've also had some experiences where I was really new and opened myself up because I didn't know what I was doing. That did not provide very good results.
Okay.
So, yes and no on that. And like Linda said too, research. Just know what you're getting into before you get into it.
Very good.
Just like seeing it on TV, it's completely different in real life than what it is on TV. You don't see the full realm and aspect of it and what you're getting into. So just know what you're getting into. And like I said, I mean, there's different types. There's people that take the scientific approach to it, and they want the scientific facts of it. There's some people that do it just for the thrill. There's some people that do it for helping people. Mm-hmm. So, find out what it is why you want to do it, and base your approach on that.
Okay. And again, that's a great answer, because all those on TV, they're friends of mine, Zach and Jason and those guys, and they're friends of mine. And what a lot of individuals don't understand, especially starting out, is when they're doing that 1 hour show, they're filming about 6-8 hours. You all know that. You don't get everything within an hour. So you got to have patience. You got to have, you got to understand what you see on TV is edited, broken down to a 1 hour show. So you got to have a lot of patience in doing this as well.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
And another thing, kind of like touching base on what Sherika said, I would say you have to be very cautious whenever, especially just starting out, because if you go in there and you open yourself up too much, it could cause you a lot of problems.
Absolutely.
And it's not a game. Don't go in there acting like it's a game, acting like everything's all hunky-dory and stuff, because that also opens you up for the bad side or whatever the case may be. some people don't take it seriously, in my opinion, and it's a very serious field, and it can be very dangerous if you don't know what you're doing, or if you ain't ever experienced it before. We all learn lessons. Starting out as investigators, we all learn what to do and what not to do. And some people and I'm not attacking Zach. Everybody's their own person. No, I'm not going negative. I'm just saying don't go in there acting like you're the baddest person in the building, because it doesn't work that way.
Well, here's how I respond to that, Dwayne, and I've shared this before, that, you got to look at it as when you're going into a place, you're going into a place where they have memories, they have experiences, they may have lived there. Would you want someone to walk into your house and say, come and get me, come after me? You're a loser.
I'm gonna go get them if they do.
What would you do if someone walked in and started saying that to you? What would you do? You'd say, you can get out of my house right now.
Yeah.
Right.
And so when you go to these places, you got to respect that. You got to respect that you're in a place that they are part of. And so respect that. And I share this, if you go in with that attitude, I've been sharing for years. There's 4, when I go in investigation place, I've been to every place you've seen on TV. I've been everywhere. And I always go in, I go in with four pieces of tools. And the first is going with a positive attitude, because positive overcomes negative every time. The second is I have a creator more powerful than anything.
Yeah.
And know that within yourself. The third is that it's kind of a humorous statement, but I have family that's kind of in the next part of life, and you don't mess with them.
Right.
They're going to protect you, okay?
Yep.
And then the fourth is to just go in and wanting to learn. Say, I want to learn from you. I want to hear what you can tell me about this place. And you're going to have a lot more activity by that way, by asking for guidance and help.
Yes.
And you won't have to deal with the negative stuff. In all the places I've been in castles, I've been in sanitariums, I've been everything you can think of. And I've had maybe 2 or 3 instances where someone was not wanting to help me. And I immediately said, you can leave, because you have the control, so I can say you can leave now. And that's what you do. So yeah, pay attention. I mean, I know why Zach does what he does. That's why he shows on for over 12 years now. And he's got to do things to keep the ratings up.
Yeah, he has to.
And to be honest, I mean, a lot of what you see on TV too, like with Zach and the different ones, they're the investigators. They're not the producers. They're not the ones editing it. They're not the ones that are
in control of everything of what gets put out there most of the time.
Another thing that I do, like you said, when I go in, it's respect, and it's how they were in life is how they're going to be in the next stage of life, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And one thing I do, even though sometimes, even after all these years on investigations, I'll still get scared and I'll still scream. And then I apologize, and I thank them for their response. I thank them for trying to communicate, and one of the things that I've incorporated over the years, I didn't do it when I first started, but now on almost every investigation, whether it's a private residence, a public place, whatever, I tell them, is there anything that you want to share? I want to hear your story. What did you go through? And like you said, that's provided some amazing responses and stuff. And it's, we have encountered, of course, some of the places that we went into, we've encountered some people that I probably wouldn't have liked in the real life, and their attitude, things come out in the investigation, and I don't much care for them as a spirit either, or in the spirit, the next stage of life, but they are how I was in, life. I mean, and like you said, if somebody was to come up into my house and just plop down on a couch and start demanding answers to questions, I'm okay, let me show you, So I feel that that's how they were there, if you go in and just start demanding and you're disrespectful in their place, then that's probably what you're going to get back.
Absolutely. And I've seen it where, investigators that went in, or individuals like myself went in, and you know, I got a good friend in this industry, and it's like, why do you keep doing what you're doing? Because you're asking for negative energy every time, you know. So,
Yep.
but you know, it's all a matter of respect, and you're in this industry for a reason. I'm in this industry for a reason, and it's for us to continue to learn about life.
Yeah.
Another question here that we can both chime in on. Kim said, "How do you tell when paranormal are faking things? How can you tell paranormal are faking things?"
Okay, is she talking about investigators? Is she talking about psychic mediums?
Or is she talking about spirits? Because I've had spirits mess with us too. So,
Is she asking about when do you know if a spirit is not being real?
How can it just says how can you tell paranormal or faking things?
Yeah, I think she's asking like as in a psychic or as an investigator. I think it's more where she's going with that.
Well, here's my feeling on this. First of all, if you're not taking your abilities and as a psychic medium and doing them in a way that's going to be a purposeful path, you might have some years in the industry, but you're going to start falling. You've got to be truthful. You got to be what you really are. And if you try to be something different, you're not going to. I have seen in the last 20 years, I have seen those in my industry, psychic mediums, who are when they first got in this industry, they were like, oh my gosh, they're going to be the next big thing. And they were doing everything to promote them. And and the whole time is like, they're not going to, and they're no longer around. And it's because of, and if they are, she used the word fake, if they're faking it, number one, you're going to know it. Number two, that they're probably not going to be in the industry very long. Those that have been in the industry for the years that they've been in, it's because they have abilities. It's because they've acknowledged their abilities. Some have taken it in different paths than others, but they're in this for many years for a reason. One of the first individuals that I had the honor and the pleasure to interact with, actually before my career started, his name was John Edward, and John helped me so much to be the real me. And he just by giving me just a few minutes of advice, and I just he's been in this industry for over 30 years now, and he's been given a lot of people have been bashing him and things through the years, but he still follows what he has, and so someone like that, someone's been in the industry for many years, are the ones that's probably going to be the ones that are acknowledging their abilities. Investigators, if they're doing things, if they're just like what I've talked about earlier, if they're doing things to create an activity or create something that's not really there, they're probably not going to last very long as well, because what's the saying? You can fool some of the people some of the time.
Yep.
Okay, so and then I've got, there's some in this industry that if they see a cloud that's shaped like a heart, they automatically think it's a sign, that they've captured some kind of activity. I'm not the expert in investigation, but when it comes to investigations, I think part of the investigation is to really research, and your focus is to debunk. Actually, as an investigator, you're trying to find a logical reason. If there's not, then you say there's an activity here, there's a presence here, and so that's
why I say, like, I get skeptical in the evidence. And I'll take this one a step further on, if the paranormal are faking like evidence and things like that, I question everything. Unless I was there and experienced it for myself, or, it was documented very, very well, I question everything. I'm not saying that none of it's real. I'm sure there's, I know from some of the catches that we've gotten as quote unquote evidence, being there, knowing the situation. But I don't expect everybody else to believe it just because I caught something on recording, because you never know.
Excellent.
So that's why I said, I get skeptical, and even like our own, the equipment that we use, I get skeptical about it. We do certain experiments and different things to try to debunk a lot of it. I've seen a lot of investigators, as far as the investigation side of it, use the equipment and let the equipment run the investigation, so to speak. Me and my team, we do things to try to avoid that. Like using a spirit box. If a word comes out, a lot of people will run with that word and build a whole story around a word or a sentence that they heard that is really irrelevant, because the equipment we use, it's got flaws. Every piece of equipment out there has flaws in it, except for yourself. Which
Right.
if you second guess and let your physical nature get involved, I mean, even that can have flaws in it. So,
What's your favorite piece of equipment?
myself,
Yes.
my favorite piece of equipment is going to be probably me and my recorder.
Recorder?
Yep, and then myself, going with
we
my
got some-
feelings and my intuitions that I get myself when I'm on an investigation. And sadly, that can't be expressed and shared with other people, because nobody else can tell what I feel or what I get in the moment. But me and then my recorder, that's my two favorite pieces of evidence.
Well, that's pretty
equipment.
amazing that you answered it that way, because I've noticed that, there's been some technology coming out in this field that's just absolutely amazing. And, but a lot of times most individuals will say the standard recorder, the old standby is the best tool. So, and it seems to be the most popular, actually.
I mean, the equipment is really fun. There's quite a few pieces of the equipment that we use that I absolutely love. Some new stuff that's come out that we don't have yet that I would love to be able to use. But like I said, they all have flaws in the way that they're designed. That, if there was one piece of equipment that could prove or capture paranormal without a shadow of a doubt, then a lot of people wouldn't be in this field. There's not one that doesn't have a flaw somewhere in it. Like you take the spirit box, it sweeps radio stations. Sometimes you might pick up a word or something from a radio station, or the EMF, detects electromagnetic fields. That's everywhere in the world. So, it just, they're fine. A lot of times you can use them to relay messages or, conversations, but I prefer myself and my recorder for solid, hard evidence, so to speak.
Yeah, it's always fascinating to me. I love working with the investigators, because, what I get, and I get to see it flashing, or I get to hear it or something like that as well. It's like, oh, it's validating,
Yep.
So,
They're
so
great
I
tools
always
to
enjoy
use. I don't debunk them as far as, they're never accurate. But just because of, one of them lights up, I don't automatically just jump and say, oh, it's spirit.
Great.
All right, one more question, and then we went over a little bit. So we've got one more question in chat if you're up for it and got time, and then we can either just keep talking or we can cut it off, or whatever you're up to. So
okay.
In the chat, they said, do you believe in reincarnation?
Sure. I feel like, as I said earlier, I feel like life is always learning. It's a continuing learning process. When we go into the spirit, we're still learning about life as well. And it makes sense if you choose. I feel like we have choices there, just like we have choices here. If you would choose, you want to come back and live in a different timeline or a different life, instead of a male being a female and being in a different environment, that would be a learning experience. You may choose to say, I want to go back and learn some more. So yes, I do feel like we have that opportunity. For me personally, and I've got friends or shamans, and and all, but I don't feel like animals come back as humans. I don't feel like humans come back as animals because we have different spirits and different souls. So, but yeah, I feel like we can come, we can return. That has a lot to do with the past lives. People ask me if I do past lives as well. I don't promote it, but I do have the ability. But that has a lot to do with a life experience that you had here before. And it makes a lot of sense because you're still learning.
For me on it, I'm not 100% sure. I'm not gonna say that it's a hard no, because I don't know. So until I know for a fact of something, I'm always gonna say it's a possibility.
I've decided if I come back, I want to choose to have the body of Thor.
There you go.
Give me some strength. Give me some strength. So, but yeah, to answer that, I do feel like we do.
There we go.
Yeah. I was told by one of my psychic friends in the past that I actually was an exorcist priest in a past life. I know in this life I have some abilities where I'm able to help cross people over to the other side. I'm very clairaudient. I hear spirits, like her and Lauren can testify to that. Like it can be all of us walking down a hallway at a location or anywhere. It don't even have to be a location. We just be walking down the hallway and I would stop and be like, "Did y'all hear that?" And I'd be like, "No, we didn't hear it." And then I play it back on the recorder and they're like, "What?" I was all, "Yeah, I heard that with my own ears. I didn't even need a recorder."
Yeah.
Dwayne, do you have two books in your house right now that are next to each other or on top of each other?
Yeah.
Can you tell me what those books are?
Where the books are you talking about?
One of them is.
I didn't even know those were in there. Here, let me see them.
I don't know if he. Right here. Those are next to him.
Are they on top of each other?
Yeah.
I need the one at the bottom, not the top one. The one at the bottom.
Well,
What is that?
Joe Hill, 20th Century Ghost.
Okay, can you set that in front of you?
Okay.
oh,
Is there more than 300 pages in this book?
Yeah.
Okay, is there a 320 page 329?
Not on this one.
Okay, stay with that a minute. I'm getting a 3 and a 2 and a 9. So go to chapter 3 and see if there's a page. If there's I'm getting a 2 and a 9. So can you tell me what chapter 3 is?
Let's see. Do you want to know what it's called, or?
Yeah, the title of the chapter.
Yeah, it's called Pop Art.
Okay, you need to go through, not right now, but after we get off the show. There's something about the second page of that chapter in the 9th word. You can do that now, I guess.
Okay. How?
Okay, that helps. Is this a book you've read yet?
I haven't read it yet.
Okay, I feel like you need to maybe focus on it. I don't know how long you've had it, but I feel like you need to focus on it. And I feel like your answer, a lot of your answers of how is going to be in this book.
Huh.
Okay.
Why did you buy this book?
This was actually a gift to us.
Oh,
And like, because she knew, like, I mean,
It actually came. She was the mayor of our town at the time, and she knew that we was into it, and we were going to be doing some work with the city with the paranormal because we live in a really, really small city. There's not a whole lot
there's like
going
800
on
people in
here
our
or
town.
anything.
Kind of like
so
Santa Claus.
yeah.
we were going to kind of
You
work
gotta
with
speak.
her. We were going to kind of work with her on the paranormal and doing some things around the town and stuff. And she had found that book and thought we might be interested in it and gave it to us.
It's going to give you some answers.
Okay.
And if you have answers of how you're going to, what you just talked about, how we're going to do this, I feel like the book is going to guide you a little bit.
Okay.
Like how can we develop this? How can we, what can we do? How can we do this? So I feel like that this was a message given to me to give to you about, you need to be working on this actually.
Okay.
All right. You got some homework to do, Dwayne. How you like that? You got homework.
There
A
you
little
go.
bit. 300 pages of homework.
And then Ginger said the reason that she asked about the reincarnation is that when she was little, she used to tell her mom that she was another little girl and that she drowned, and now she's who she is. So
Okay. I'm not getting anything for her at this time, but if she's getting that, if she feels that way, then yeah. And she's getting little flickers of what she experienced before. People
yeah,
ask
she
me,
said
well,
she
what?
knew her age and when it happened and who her siblings were in the previous.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, and just acknowledge it. Acknowledge what she's, what she's getting.
That's pretty cool. And then Trish said, "Can I ask Rick which business to start?"
Both.
I wish it all worked that easy.
Get to work, both of them. No. She said business. I don't know if she means she's going to work for somebody. I feel like she needs to go the one that she's going to have a little more freedom with. She knows. I don't know why she's asked me this. She knows which one she's going to go for. Tell her, what's her name?
Trish.
Tell Trish she already knows.
There we go.
She knows. It's the one she's been really thinking about a lot in the last 2 weeks.
Okay.
That one.
All right, and I got one more question. If you need to go or you get tired, just let us know. Cause
I need to go shortly, but go ahead.
okay. So with abilities, I know you're teaching different classes and stuff on this. What would be an advice that you would give someone like me? Like I'm open to them, but I'm not. I don't know the right word. I don't know mastered. I don't know that you can ever master them because, like you said, they're always growing and changing, and you're always learning. But what would you give? What piece of advice would you give to somebody that has experienced it but doesn't have a good understanding of it?
Keep learning. Keep learning within yourself. Be patient. Patience is very, very important. Don't force the square into the round hole. Just allow it to just evolve and be very patient and allow it to grow. And again, I go back to be confident with what you have. Confidence is very important. And then just allow them to guide you. You'll be guided. You'll be guided which direction you need to go. And here's a good way of doing that. If all of a sudden something that happens in your life that kind of tells you need to go down, open this door and walk through this door, it's guiding you. It's guiding. I asked this often. For years I was asking this. Why didn't I started doing this out in the public back when I was in my 20s and 30s when I was younger? And I had someone share with me when I said that one day, and I was out in the public with about a year. But the first thing they said to me was it wasn't the right time. And it's exactly right, because if I started 2030, it'd been a different. I feel like it would have been a different path than what it is today. So you got to allow those doors, and when those doors open for you, when you see it's like you get an opportunity to talk with someone, and that's the door that's opening you and helping you. So just keep learning and keep growing that way. You can learn from others, in this industry. Like, you can learn from me, but I don't want you to be me. I want you to be you. And that's
Right.
another key, just being yourself. And then have the faith. My tagline is believe. It's believe for a reason, because when you believe, you're going to have that confidence. You're going to have that guidance. So just believe.
It's a lot of good stuff to take in.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, I definitely want to thank you for coming on and hanging out with us, Rick.
Thank you,
Definitely
Dwayne.
been our pleasure.
Oh, for sure. Definitely going to have to do it again in the future sometime.
Absolutely. Just you know how to get a hold of me. Just make it happen. I always say, make it happen. You want something to happen in your life, make it happen. And
For sure.
It's been a real pleasure talking with you all tonight. And I've enjoyed this. I've learned a lot myself tonight, just listening to you all as well. So
us as well, and that's the thing. It's always a learning experience. It's incredible to share experience and stories and all that fun stuff. Before we jump off here, just tell everybody out there, if they want to read or anything like that, just kind of tell them where they can find you at to get
Or find
one,
your
or
books.
find your books, or.
Well, again, I travel extensively, so maybe if I'm in your area, be sure and be a part of it. But you just go to Life's Gift. It's LIFESGIFT, lifesgift.com. And you'll have all the information there. I'm also on Facebook. If you're listening to me tonight and you're not a Facebook friend of mine, we're friends now, so friend me. And I've got 2 pages on there. One is a personal page where I talk about personal daily life. And then the other one is more of a spiritual page, of what they call the fan page. But you can go there and friend me, and I put something on there about every day, and to help give you guidance a little bit, so you can go to that. So, and here's Google me. I'm all over Google.
Yeah, if you type him in, you'll find out. It's a list a mile long.
And I want to personally thank you all tonight, and it's been a real honor and a pleasure to share with you tonight. And
Oh, it's been our pleasure.
And I'm sure I'm going to be in Arkansas sometime along my path. So when I do, we gotta get hooked up and do something. Okay?
Oh,
for
definitely.
sure.
That would be
Right.
amazing.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
And I always end it with this: always believe.
Always believe.
Always believe, no matter what your path is.
Thank you, guys.
You as well. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your night. We'll see y'all soon. Love you all. Be safe out there. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye.